Okay, well, let's put this to use. Let's go ahead to the project panel and let's import a file. From Chapter 10 folder, choose tiger.jpg and click on Open. Go ahead and drag that down to the new comp icon, and there you go. What this exercise is all about is making the tiger breathe in and out, and as he breathes out, he's just going to breathe out some steam. When I took this picture, it was really, really cold. All right, so let's draw a mask around the tiger's head, because when he breathes, we don't want for the head also to distort. So grab your pen tool, and yep, roto is good. And let's just have a loose selection around the tiger's head. There you go. Select the layer in the timeline, press M for mask, and let's change the mask transparency mode to none. And there you go. Go ahead to the Effects and Presets panel and type in the word liquify. And there it is, and apply the effect to the layer. There you go. Here in the Effect Controls panel, we see all the options for liquify. Let's go ahead and change to the bloat tool, which is this one right here. And let's expand now the bloat tool options. Let's go ahead and keyframe the distortion mesh right here at the beginning. Move the CTI to about 2 seconds and keyframe it again. Select the layer, press the letter U, and use the keyframe navigator for that. Now move the CTI in between the 2 keyframes, and let's go ahead now and distort the tiger. Change the brush size to about 109. And everything else looks good. Make sure we're on the bloat tool. Make sure that the freeze area mask is set to mask 1. And just go and click somewhere in the middle of the tiger's chest, only for a fraction of a second. And there you go. Let's scrub the timeline. And there he is. He's just breathing in and out. We can go ahead and select all those keyframes. Right-click one of them. Go to Keyframe Interpolation and change the temporal interpolation to Continuous Bezier. Go ahead and click OK, and let's go to the graph editor. From the graph editor, let's edit the speed graph. And let's start slow, go faster, and end a little bit slow there. And let's just move this up a little bit. And that's about right. Let's go ahead and exit this view. And now let's add some particles. Create a new solid, which is Control or Command Y. That's the shortcut for it. And this can be any color, it doesn't matter. And let's apply the particle playground effect to this. Just go Effect, Simulation, Particle Playground, and there you go. And let's just zoom in a little bit. Let's have the particles come in right from his mouth. There you go. And expand the cannon here. Let's change the color to white. Perfect. And let's change the gravity as well, because we don't want these to fall down. Change it to about -80. Let's change the direction as well. That's about right. And let's go ahead and change the barrel radius to a little bit larger. A 5 is kind of good. Let's go ahead and keyframe the particles per second. Our keyframes need to agree with the distortion mesh keyframes from the liquify effect. So let's go ahead and press the K key. And there you go. The CTI navigates to where that keyframe is. And let's keyframe particles per second. Let's start at 0. Move the CTI a little bit. Change this value of the particles per second to about a 320. And let's navigate to the last keyframe of the liquify. Just use the letter K and change the particles again to a 0. Select a solid in the timeline and press the letter U. There you go. Now we can navigate between these keyframes by using the keyboard shortcuts. So press the letter J, and there you go, the CTI just goes back. Let's go ahead and keyframe the velocity of these particles. Let's start with a velocity of 0. Use the keyframe navigator now to move to the second keyframe of the particles, and let's change the velocity to about a 130. And that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and add a fast blur to this layer. Go to the Effects and Presets panel, type in the word fast, the letter B, and there you go. Apply that effect. And let's change the amount of blurriness to 40 or so. 42 is good. Last but not least, the steam actually has to disappear, so let's keyframe opacity. Press T on your keyboard and keyframe opacity right there at 100%. Move on time a little bit, and let's just change the value to 0, so eventually that disappears. Let's select both of these layers, press the letter U, and let me move this up a little bit. And let's change the interpolation of these to easy ease. Just press the F9. Make sure you don't select the bottom ones, because those we actually modified by hand. And let's zoom out. Let me move this again so we can see it better. And let's preview. That's 0 on your numeric keypad. And as you can see, there's a lot of fun things that you can do with particles.